Okay. Sweet. Can you hear me? I have a microphone in, and I'm wondering. Yes, you can.
Sweet. Can you hear me?
I will turn that off. Okay. I think I might actually be a little early, but you know. Hey, salut Simon. I don't know how many people are going to be on. I wanted to put the notice up yesterday about tonight's live stream. Totally spaced it, so I did it when I got home from work, hoping that people saw it in time to, you know, that they'll come out and join us. I've got. It's funny because on the phone I've got 4 people, and on the app it says 1 person watching. I think there's a bit of a lag. But anyways, I've got a few things to talk about today. Hold on. I'm sitting in a different spot. This is our basement. We've been reorganizing it for Camille's schoolwork and stuff. You know, we bought her a desk and blah blah blah. She's got an old computer here. But anyways, I'm going to. Okay, still just Simon. So where was I going to say? Yeah, I want to talk about. Camille just turned 6, so for her 7th birthday, I want to make her a kid's knife. I don't want to like make the blade or anything, but I want to handle one in birch. So that's one thing I want to talk about. Another thing I want to talk about is that excuse me. Yeah. I know I've mentioned on a previous video the new app I'm using to shoot my videos. I find that it's really giving me heartburn about the whole idea behind it was that I was supposed to be able to shoot in really flat colors and then make everything pop in post so that it would look really filmic, but man, it's just killing me. I just don't have the skill to do it yet, so I don't know if I should just go back to using the same old you know, the built-in iPhone camera app or not, or if I should just keep fighting with it, you know. I don't know, because I know that you guys are not getting the quality of image that I want you guys to have. That's for damn sure. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I keep fighting with it? You know, I don't know. So who's watching anyway? Hold on. Let me know who you are. Wyndham Woodcraft. Man, I have been wanting to talk to you again forever. Okay, I'll explain to you what's going on. In my vlog, which is not my Bushcraft channel, but my other channel, I did a video dedicated to saying, look, the money's just not there this year. I'm not going to get the camera I want, so I'm just going to treat for the rest of you, this is just a short little rundown. So I'm going to treat this iPhone as my camera until such time. Like, I'm going to stop treating it as like a stopgap measure, and I'm going to just own the iPhone. So like I've got a microphone that's on there now. I don't know if you guys are detecting a better sound than last time or not, but I bought a cheap microphone by Rode that's made for the iPhone to bring my sound up a little bit, and I bought a camera app for the phone called Filmic Pro, and what it does is it brings a lot of pro camera control to the phone. So like I can shoot in what's called log. And when I was in film school, actually after I was in film school, because when I was in film school, cutting and splicing happened with a razor blade and tape. Okay, but when film started being made on video cameras, they would shoot in what's called log, which essentially shrinks all the color space down. So like the colors look really washed out and really kind of gray, but what that does is it brings a lot of detail up. And like see behind me, that black room, if I was shooting in log, it would look really gray rather than black, but there'd be a lot of detail there. So then when I went into Final Cut Pro, I could bring my colors up but have all that detail, so it would look really like filmic. Anyways, so I've got this app, but like the last few videos I've been like fighting with the color and it's just been looking worse and worse. So I don't know, I'm not really the type to quit, so I kind of want to just keep fighting with it, but maybe I'll do that sort of on the side instead of when I'm shooting stuff to show you guys. I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about because I've been really frustrated lately with my image quality. I mean, I know that tell a good story, make sure the sound is good and everything else is great. I know that, but man, oh, it's, you know? But anyways, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just forget about it for now, or should I keep fighting with it? Will you guys meet me halfway and keep watching the videos, even if the picture quality starts to go all wonky? I also want to tell you guys that I have a very long video coming out fairly soon. I shot it a long time ago with somebody who's watching right now. But it's taking me forever to edit it because we're talking about a lot of product, and I like to okay. Yeah, Window Man, when the hell are you gonna get some videos up again? I'm missing you, brother. What's going on? Oh yeah, so this video that's coming out, like, you know, in my videos I like to sort of drop a product name on screen whenever I mention it, and I like to have it pop up just as, like, if I'm talking about an axe, then as I start the word axe is when I like the word to pop up. So like I'm going like from frame to frame to get the word to pop up just as happens, you know? So this video is taking forever. It's gonna be pretty cool once it's done, but man, I've been working on it for today. I was gonna work on it at lunchtime at work, but I forgot my hard drive because I'm really pro. Anyway, that's Tyler Rodriguez. Nice to see you again. Or nice to see your name again. So yeah, one of the things I wanted to bring up with you guys was, as I just sort of mentioned at the beginning, and I think I've sort of hinted either on an earlier video, or actually it's more likely it was a Google Hangout, or maybe I was just Skyping with Fox Company Prepping. But I want to get like a little knife kit for my girl for her 7th birthday. This gives me a year to do this, and I've got a ton of birch bark that I've been collecting because I want to do like a stacked birch handle on it. But I don't really know where to turn for a good little starter knife, you know. I think Mora's got one. Does Helle have one? I'm not sure, but like something like that, because it's not full tang, so I can just stack the birch on, you know. But I don't know who else might have one, you know. Like, have any of you guys made a knife for a kid? I'm just taking a look at what we got here. So yeah, anyone out there made a knife for a kid? Anyone's got a specific kit to suggest to me that I can do a little birch bark stacked handle on? The Mora Woodcarver Jr. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that's one of the ones I saw. I was having a hard time finding one in Canada, I think. But it's probably affordable enough that it's not going to kill me to... Hold on a sec. One of the people viewing has just told me to open a document online here. Yeah, right? Stacked birch bark would be cool. Tyler's saying that would be really cool. And I think so too. I'm seeing it as two things. Sorry about taking the glasses off, but I need new ones, so I can't really see the screen with them on. Yeah, I'll take another look at it, Wyndham. I'll see how long the tang is, because if it's long enough, I'll just pee in the end, right? Like maybe I'd source a little piece of brass for the front and the back of the handle. Oh, Simon, okay, I see what it is. All right, I'll take a look at it as soon as we're done here. I imagine you've made many changes again. Let me see. Yeah, I want to look at all my options before I settle on something and throw my money at it. I like Morris. I can't see it being a bad choice, that's for sure. For some reason, it's not coming up on my... There we go. Mora Wood Carving Jr. Yeah, that's okay. That's the one with the little guard on it. But they sell a kit version of that, right? Whoever was the other one, it had a rounded tip. Who made that? Why do I think it was Helle? Why did I think it was Helle? Yeah, Tyler, that's what I want to do. I want to purchase just the blanket and handle it myself. That's why I want to make sure that like whichever of these is available as a kid's as just a blank. Yeah, Simone. You guys, man, you should see Simone's collection of Victorinox knives. It's impressive. Should William Sneven? Nope. How many of you guys have made? Isn't the purest way, but China is a very economical choices. Remove the handle and do your own. That's not a bad idea either, is it? One thing I want you guys to try right now is, because I know that we've had some trouble with people other than me putting a link in the chat. Try putting the link in the chat, but putting a space before the .com so that it doesn't recognize it as a link. Hold on, I'm just trying to catch up with the... Wow! Okay. Yeah, Simone just showed me Lee Valley has a whole bunch of Mora blanks. They don't have the kids one, though. Maybe it doesn't have to be the kids one. It's just, I thought, something small, because she's got really small hands, right? Like, even when she hits 7, she's not going to be as big as I am, that's for true. I mean, I'm not a very tall person, but still. Crap, I've lost the live dashboard. Okay. Michael Vega, first of all, hey, how's it going? Second, I'm having trouble finding old hickories. Here's the deal, right? If I find something south of the border, I practically have to drive across the border to pick it up. Otherwise, the shipping is terrible, Links with spaces does not work. Crap. Why? Why do they do this to us? Ah, YouTube. YouTube. Forgot I was in Canada. Can't you tell with my fine Canadian accent? Eh? Okay, so links with spaces do not work. How can we... How can we disguise a link so that it doesn't get bounced by language, Mr. Michael? The 120 blank? That's just sort of the basic one, isn't it? I'm taking a look here. I'm trying to find a look here. That didn't make any sense at all. Try and bring the live dashboard back up. 120, it's a smaller blade. Is that like their carving knife? Is that what that is? Simone, they're gone though. Folks, Wyndham Woodcraft just gamed the system. Thanks, buddy. I'm going to check that out. With the creative spacing, he totally made it work. Man, we're a bunch of smart cookies here tonight. Okay. Oh, it's a YouTube link, so I will watch it later. I'm just taking all the spaces out. Dude. Oops. Oh, no. Okay, I will watch that later. Ugh, hold on. Pause. A sheath knife. Oh, a puko. I don't have a puko yet. You know, some guys have like a lot of knives. I don't, you know. Yeah, Wyndham 1, YouTube 0. Michael, yeah. Ha! Guys, we have success. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up with all the typing here. Oh, Asset 7 is we're talking about finding like a kid's size knife blank, so that I can make a. Can I start that whole sentence again, please? We were talking about getting a kid's knife blank. I want to do a stacked birch handle on it, like source a little, you know, brass for the front and back, peen the end and everything. So, because I'm just sort of starting my research. Like some guys have mentioned, you know, Mora's got some blanks. I was just trying to see if they have the kids blank, and there's someone else who's got one with a rounded tip, and I just don't remember. For some reason, I keep thinking it's Hella, but I'm trying to sort of look for Junior and stuff like that on the Hella website, and I'm just coming up with Bupkis. Okay. So, Wyndham, I got that link. Yeah, there's about 7 spaces, yeah. Paul Bakima's here. Okay, boys and gals, I don't know if we're co-ed yet tonight, but Mr. Paul is a very bad influence. He sent me a link through Instagram to a Finnish army surplus store, like an online. Is it Finnish, Paul? Man, I just keep looking and looking and like almost buying something and thinking about like that wifely kibosh. But I'm gonna buy some stuff because they got, like, I may buy some wool blankets, for instance, you know. Man, by the way, what did you get, Paul? I didn't notice an opened. Oh yeah, I remember. Sorry, but like the prices are fabulous. And how the hell is it that Europeans can ship stuff to us for half the price of our friends just south of the border? I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with that, because their shipping is amazing. Last time I ordered something from the UK, shipping was amazing. I tried to order a catalog from, how many of you guys know Townsend's? James Townsend and Son. John? Yeah, James Townsend and Sons. They do like an 18th century. They've got a store that specializes in authentic 18th century stuff, from like clothing to utensils to pots and pans and stuff. I wanted to order a catalog, which is a $2, $2 American, but whatever. But the shipping to Canada was $45. To which I said, no way. But like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Oh, and I'm way behind on the comments. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to... Oh, Tyler also gave me this system and sent me a link for the Mora Kniv blanks. Oh, I'm so happy that we figured this shit out. Man, this stuff out, sorry. Ha, YouTube, you ain't got nothing on a bunch of bushcrafters and survivalists. I just gotta prep the the URL. See what I did there? Okay, I'm gonna take a look. Oh man, they have a lot more blanks than I thought they had. Very interesting. Ooh. And I think I can order direct from them. Number 106. There's number 120. Yeah, you guys, who told me about the 120? Is that you, Tyler? Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's a nice little size. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Mayhaps. Because I sure as hell ain't finding that heli that I thought existed. Okay. Let me go back up. Okay, so Wyndham said that 7 spaces, anything under that, and YouTube was on to him. Okay. Simon, I do want to make my own mic card at one point. I have this, I guess, romantic notion of the birch bark stacked handle, and I've been collecting a specific handle pile of birch bark for the past 2 years, so I kind of want to do it, you know. Joshua Covey, first of all, hey, how's it going? And yeah, safety knife, where was that? Where was it? Who makes it? Maybe you use mesquite? That must look really nice. Do you have pictures up somewhere? I don't know if it's Baco that has the rounded tip. I don't know. Like I see it. I see it in my hand, in my head. I'm a little tired here, and I think it's got like a little guard on it. Yeah, Paul, I can never remember how it's spelled. If you can throw 7 spaces into the link, YouTube will let you share it with the guys. Simo, okay. If I decide to make an order direct from Morikniv, I'll let you know. Okay, Wyndham. So even shipping within the States can be expensive sometimes. What is cool inside that border is that flat rate box. Of course, that doesn't cross borders, and we don't, Canada Post doesn't offer that, because Canada Post, let's not even talk about it. Verstaleka. Yeah. So like, if we are we gonna go shopping here? Are we all gonna go over and do shopping? Is that what we're gonna do? Wanted to ask you guys about knives, and suddenly we're all gonna go and spend some money. While that's bringing up, man, my interwebs is really slow. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to the. Hey, Paul, I didn't know you could retract messages. Now I want to know what you said. Michael, that is not funny about the Northwest Passage. Not. Hey, do you know that song by uh Piss on a Biscuit? I play 3 of this guy's songs. Hold on a second. You know that song by Stan Rogers, The Northwest Passage? It's a cool song. It's full on Canadiana sea shanty, but man, I really like it. Okay, people, but your Northwest Passage opens, har har. Yeah, Tyler, I'm sort of shopping. I don't really want to buy too much stuff right now. Oh, you're looking at the blankets, right? There's a couple of them. I would like to buy a few. I have one wool blanket, but I want to have a few. First of all, because you guys have seen my squirt on the videos. I want to have one for her. I want to do an overnight, like en famille, or just the 2 of us. But we're not bringing her little Princess Sophia blanket to the woods. It's got to be something warm to put around, like a bag or a bivvy or something. And you just can't beat the warmth of wool. You get rained on and it doesn't lose its warmth. And yeah, the prices are amazing. Really? Yeah, how do they keep those prices down, Paul? All right, Wyndham, see you later. Come back on next time because I want to chat with you. Yeah, Tyler, I'm looking at that site because just the prices are so much better than anything I can find around here. Yes, and wood is also fire resistant. It's funny how often I'll be sitting next to a fire in like my expensive Arc'teryx jacket or something and being like, please no embers fall on me. But when I'm wearing my scrappy old lumber jacket made of wool, it's like put it on and it's like 1974, right? But man, I have no fear of the fire when I'm wearing that thing. Yeah, I have no problem giving them a wash to fluff them up. I have no problem with that. Yeah, I see all these knife blades. Man, who made that one with the rounded tip? Who made that? No. Have any of you guys made a knife? Like in any way? I don't mean just rehandling a blank, but have any of you made a knife in any way at all? Boom. Helle kids knives. Whoops. Helle Spiderkniven. Spiderkniven? I don't know. I don't know. I think Helle is Norwegian. Isn't it? I don't know Norwegian at all. Let's see if I can put a link. Oh no, this isn't the rounded tip one. Gents, I am... Yeah, Paul, I've looked at Turkey Foot LLC a lot. In fact, I think you might have shown me that site last time I was having one of these live chats. You're gonna get me divorced. So of course I'm going over again right now because I'm silly. You guys are a bunch of funny dudes. Michael, I'm not entirely oh no, Tyler, was it you who mentioned turkey foot? One of you guys did, or you guys were talking about it or something. I don't know why I'm trying to keep up on the chat on my screen up here. It's so much better on here. I got a full. Tyler, that was the one I mentioned last stream. Left, yes. What do old hickories cost up there on Amazon? Oh, it never occurred to me to look at Amazon for one of those. I just kept looking at like eBay and stuff. Let me check. Because you're saying to buy one of those and chop it down, right? I could give it a little hacksaw action. Yeah, Tyler, that's a good point. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay. Ontario Knife Company, 7111 butcher knife, 10-inch, $38.80. That seems expensive. Like, it literally is, you know, it's the old hickory with the, you know, the same crappy-ass handle, the same textured side. But, like, does that seem expensive to you? There's an Ontario knife hop knife for $16. I don't know what the hell a hop knife is. I'm taking a look. Ontario slicing knife. Yeah, Ontario Knife Company. That's the Old Hickory brand, right? It'll say Old Hickory on the handle, won't it? Yeah. Here's one that says Old Hickory on it. What is that texturing along the top of the blade? I do have a cutting wheel on my angle grinder, so I would probably do something like that. I don't want to ruin the temper, right? Because I'm not. I started a knife out of an old file. Okay, I've got my shape cut out. I annealed it in the barbecue first. Okay, and so I've got my shape, but there are two things. One of which I've been talking to Simon about is that I don't have like a jig to get my angle right when I'm doing it on my belt sander. I've got like one of those, you know, the belt sander that it's like the handheld one but upside down. You put it on the bench. You can raise up the wheels. It's not a knife maker's, but it's doing me great. So I need to sort of build a jig to get the right angles I want. And the other thing is, I've never heat treated anything before, you know? You aren't drinking enough beer if you don't know what a hop is. Oh, the Rat 3 or Rat 5? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. You know, Simon's gonna be a jerk about the hops. Feeling all forced. Michael, yeah, okay, so what, did you keep sort of dipping it in water every time it started to pick up a little heat? And Paul, um, why the 3 or the 5? What's your, like, what's the criteria you're working with there? Because they're pretty different, aren't they? I'm not a big SE expert, so, but I seem to remember them being fairly different, you know? Yeah, in the bucket, yeah. Cheers. Oh, I can't drink that yet. This is the single most attractive beer in the world. Look at that. Look at the cascade. Love the cascade. You know, let's have that conversation, okay? Everyone, if you're not seeing it on the side chat, Paul is looking at an SE3 or 5 for his next knife. I did a video a long time ago about my bucket list knives, okay? These are knives that one day I want to own. The Falconeven F1 with the Zytel sheath. I don't want the leather sheath, okay? I want that knife. Especially because I think I showed you my, was it Paul White? John White? My little mini Nesmik. That's my first convex grind. Yeah, no, I can't see the screen. And I've really kind of got a yen for a nice convex. I'm dying for that Hele Tamagami, or Tamagami as Americans call it. Dying for the carbon one of those, the newer one. Just as soon as I saw that, I need that. I would like that new Mora with the full tang that I can't remember the name of. I tried to get a review one, you know, and I offered to send it back to them or do a giveaway, but I don't have enough subs to make it worth their while yet. Fair enough. It's a big seller. They don't have a lot of them to pass around. I'm just trying not to get my daughter's desk all, you know, when you get that wet ring effect. But like, I kind of want to get like an old Nesmik as well. Like I've got the mini, but I part of me wants to get a full sized, and the other real old school American knife, the one that just sort of comes out and what's it called? You know, like there are two big names in American, like mountain man ism. One is Nesmik and the other is... How do you Google a word you don't know or you can't remember? More importantly, where's my live dashboard so I can catch up on the... US Post Box will help with turkey foot. Yeah. I'm with you. I got to get on that. Simone has an Amazon Prime account. Yeah, oh, so do I. I forgot to cancel it before my month was up, so I paid for another year, so don't worry about that. Cut wheel and grinder, yep. Okay, Paul. Bon appetit. We'll speak to you soon. Yeah, the Mora Garburg. I want to try that. Oh, Paul went to eat, but he said something I want to pick up on. Whoa, he said 3 things I want to pick up on. Okay, so for the rest of you, Paul carries the Gerber Prodigy most of the time, which is interesting because I think you guys know I have the LMF2, which I kind of bought by accident. My first 2 Bushcraft knives, neither of them lasted because I didn't know what I was buying. I bought the Bear Grylls Ultimate. Not the Ultimate Pro, but the Ultimate when they first made a fine... Oh, okay. Okay, so good. So I've got the LMF2, which didn't make it as a Bushcraft knife, but it's amazing. It's an amazing workshop knife. So that one I kept. The Bear Grylls I passed on. I didn't think the knife was that bad, and I loved the handle, and I liked that fact that it had blaze orange on it because... sure thing, Paul. Because twice I dropped it in the grass and saw, like, I was working and it went whatever, and it was tall grass and I saw the orange. When I wasn't a big fan of the mystery steel, and I hated the sheath. The sheath was why I passed it on. I was like, no, forget it. I didn't like where it sat, like how it sort of sat up above the belt. So no matter what shirt I was wearing, because I'm not exactly lithe, so it would like irritate, it would scratch. I was like, no, so gone. The other F2 I kept because it's so good as a workshop knife. It's a pry bar with a sharpened side, you know. And like I've looked at the Prodigy, but I'm over Gerber. I think, you know, I know that their American made stuff is much better. I get that. The Prodigy is probably, if I was to go Gerber again, that one might be the shape I would go for again. But now that I know what I look for in a bushcraft knife, I know that some people hate that term because of marketing and everything, but I use it for, you know, because it's easy. The knives I've mentioned to you guys are the shapes I know I can get along with, you know. Look, if I won the lottery, I would send an email to Sandy Jack right now for one of his Woodlore clones. That's the one that really gives me the fizz. I know a lot of people are really into Adventure Sworn, and I think Adventure Sworn are exquisite, but I just have a real thing for a Jacklore. But like, the point I wanted to make is, to me, a knife is around 4 inches. I can sort of deal with smaller things for specialized tasks. Like my mini Nismuk, I think will be an amazing game skinning knife. But once you start to get longer, because I'm a dedicated axe and hatchet guy, I can find no use for like a big chopper, or like you know, I don't live in the kind of territory. It's an odd word for my context. I don't live in the kind of area where yeah, Simo, that's one of the ones I forgot to mention. I want to get that Grohmann, the Canadian belt knife. I just want to try it, and they're not that expensive. They're like, well, okay, 125 or something for, you know, the number one, the basic cliche Grohmann Canadian belt knife. I have a real I was gonna say real love, but people as emotionally dead as me inside can't use the word love with a straight face. I have a real thing for like old designs and old stuff, like, you know, a 1950 era design. It sort of gives me the fizz, you know, the way some really modern designs just don't. Oh, I keep getting lost. Where was I? Simon, you mentioned the Grohmann and now I'm lost. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, like, to me, a knife is 4 inches. Once you get to 5, I start to... It's all about how easy it is for me to this Ford Von Tomsky Bowie. Michael, do you have a link for one of those? Yeah, Tyler, I used to wear a bomber jacket when I was younger, running with the Rude Boys and stuff. Like, I'm not entirely sure about how much better a 5-inch blade would be for my needs than a 4. You know, because unless I'm batoning bigger pieces, I don't really baton a lot with a knife though. Like, you guys have seen my really small Wetterlings buddy hatchet, right? I mean, that's sort of where I transitioned from a 4-inch blade to bigger chopping stuff, you know. Michael, oh, he's gonna find me a link. Remember to put 7 spaces in that link, otherwise YouTube will go crazy on us. I think Paul was saying that that his Prodigy's a tank but weighs a ton. Yeah, that's the thing about the LMF2, man. It's not a light knife. Just catching up. Tyler, yeah. You know what's a saw I would love to try? I would love to try that Silky Katana Boy. You know that really long? It's. I was like, I'm buying that ASAP, and then I saw the price and was like, I'm never gonna get to buy that. But man, Mr. Boiler Room Radio. This is so much more than just a True beer. This is a loaf of beer. Oh, Simo, I forgot that Groman did knife kits. That, by the way, is another company I contacted about getting a review knife and offering to send it back or pass it along. But at like 2,300 subs, I'm just not big enough. That's why I kind of wanted to. I optimistically gave myself the goal of hitting 5,000 by the end of the year. Pfft, ain't gonna happen. But I do pick up a few more subs every now and again. Just taking a look. Where are the knife kits? There they are. I wish they had a really small knife. Trout and bird kit. That's actually a pretty small knife. Boilerman, I am enjoying. It's funny because I was one of these kids who grew up not liking beer. I was like, I don't like beer. Don't like beer. But man, I got a real taste for Guinness. And these days, I drink a lot of craft beer. How many of you guys use that app, Untapped, on your phones? How many of you guys are beer geeks? All right, Michael. Wow, that is so many spaces. But we do have a link, so I ain't gonna complain. Rush is on for Ford. Hey, are Ford the guys who make that little folder, the non-locking folder that's like got a lever off the back? No. Like the peasant knife. I guess that's not Ford, is it? No, because they're New Zealand or something. Okay, what am I missing? Oh, I forgot to take the space out after H. TTP. Let me see. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. That's definitely a Bowie knife. Oh, I see. This is a historically accurate version. Okay. Whoa, limited run of 25. That's gonna. Oh, we'll soon see a wider distribution. Okay, for those of you who are into Bowie knives and stuff, the link that Michael just put up. It's not a style of knife that I used to have one in that style, but not as nice as this. It was more like a, peppermint oil and water. Oh, you're so right. I even have peppermint oil. Oh well. Dude, that Bowie is long. How many inches is that? Here I'm, haha, 4 inches is fine by me, maybe 5. Wow, that's like... Whew. Text, okay. Just 2 eyedroppers for a quart, eh? Interesting. Very, very interesting. Beer. I think the fact that I play in a Celtic band might have had an effect, have affected my my early beer taste. Now I want to order one of these old hickories. Damn you guys! But man, well, here's one for $15.79. The slicing knife. What the hell do you use a sticker knife for? What the hell? I love how you, any of you guys remember what that other sort of old style American knife I was talking about? Any of you guys remember the name? Like the one that's not the Nessmuk? Yeah, Simon, I was thinking the same thing. It's almost a machete size, eh? Michael, I've never even seen the Alamo. I mean, I've seen it in movies and stuff, but my dad's seen it. He went on a really cool loop. Like not as far as New York or anything, but like sort of down the West Coast because he just lives in BC, through Texas and up sort of the Midwest, and then back, and he saw a lot of really cool stuff. I'd like to see the Alamo one day. In some ways, I'm a real history buff. Like the period that I have two kind of interests, I guess. I like sort of ancient periods, especially like if you look at writing styles, writing systems, and stuff that just don't exist anymore. And when I was in school, I took Old English as not even a minor. Just I took a bunch of electives in Old English. I couldn't speak it now, so don't even ask. But yeah, on a more modern thing, in a more modern sense, my big thing is World War One because I see that as Canada's War of Independence. We went into World War One, 7 days after the British did, and at the end of it, our Prime Minister Borden, when the League of Nations was coming together, the larger countries were going to, include the entire British Empire under the British, under the British heading, and Prime Minister Borden said, "No, we just bled for you, so every nation of the empire gets a representative," and that's why Australia had a representative, and New Zealand, and and India, and like all of the British Empire countries, at least the medium power ones, got a seat at the table. And so I see World War One as Canada's War of Independence. I mean, some think we only really got our independence in the 80s when we patriated the Constitution, but that's just window dressing. Why was I saying that? Oh yeah, so I would like to see the Alamo because I love historical things. I love to sort of stand there and imagine what did this place look like when there were no electric street lights, And there's a lot of Montreal that is old, and you just stand there and that, it wasn't even gas lights yet, it was torches, And the benefit of, what a stupid way to put that, my family's been here for 400 years. Okay, so I can think back to like a truly old city like say Dublin, which is over 1,000 years old, is a whole different ball of wax. But when I'm in like the old port or whatever, and I see some of these really old buildings, I just like to sort of imagine what it looked like in torchlight, and when it wasn't a crowded street, it was like a building and a lot of grass and then a street, I'm getting behind on it. You guys, man, I'm just getting distracted and stuff, and now I've got to read back. Okay, let me go to 7. Boiler room rate, yes. Texan, yes. Alamo, 25 minutes. Stickers to kill pigs. Okay, so it really is. Okay, I thought maybe there was a different... The Nessmuk and the drop point. Yeah, I think the one that I'm trying to figure out is it's a drop point. It's like, oh, what was it called? Shit. Oh, I just said shit. I just did it twice. I'm trying to control the swearing online because in my private life I have a terrible potty mouth, but I try to keep that off the YouTube channel because YouTube is getting really weird about age gating stuff, and as soon as you get age gated, you can no longer monetize, and just ugh. Okay, Nessmuk was George W. Sears. I'm gonna find the name of that knife because it's another one I want to sort of try. Oh, I'm getting so frustrated. Kephart. 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 Know what I'm saying? I'll write it in the little chatty thing there. Little chatty window. Boom. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. Kephart. Oh, I'm so glad I remember that. Finally. I always forget that. I don't know why. It's a style of knife that it's got that real like primeval North American. No, that's American. That's straight up American. I find that certain knives, certain knife designs could only come from a certain part of the world. Not could only, but they really sort of, they look like their nationality. I'm not saying this right, but you guys know what I'm saying. And like the Kephart and the Nessmuk, they both look like North American designs. You know, they could have come out of the Midwest or they could have come out of the Canadian prairies, but like they just have a North American look. It looks like something that is being used skinning beaver. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas the Woodlore and that style to me looks like a British knife to me. Part of that is obviously because these ones come from the States, so of course we just grow to think of them as American designs, and that comes from the UK, so we just sort of tend to come to see it as being a British design. But it's the same way in which the American rifle, the Garand, the Garand. The thing is, the way the rifle is pronounced is different from the way the man's name was. But anyways, he was a guy from Quebec, went to the States, designed the M1. That knife, that rifle just looks American, whereas the Lee Enfield, which I love, that is definitely a British rifle, and a Canadian one because we made them and the Australians made them, but it was a British Empire rifle, and like you just see it and you think British Empire. You see the M1 and you think American. You see the Ross rifle and you think stupid. But maybe it's because they're less of a, same head of state and everything. I do feel the pull of British stuff. Self-RelianceOutfitters.com. Products, Kephart Survival Knives by P. Dude, this is gonna be expensive. If you get me divorced, I'm gonna come and live with you. And I eat a lot of food. Evidently. Where's my live dashboard? There it is. $70. For those of you what are paying attention, Boiler Room also gamed the system by just taking the dot out before the com. Oh no, not found. Okay, what am I missing? By PQ. Oh, it's because there's a whole bunch of space at the end. Sorry. $70. Yeah, that's the shape. It's actually that's pretty damn exact. Now here's the thing. I'm wondering if the original cap art was a convex or whether it was like a grind like that. What do you think? Somewhere I saw like a write-up, from the period. I think maybe cap art himself had done it or something, describing the length of the knife and everything. And what some folk do think. Any long-term survival trips? I'm in a really weird position in that I can't do much long-term anything right now because I can't talk about what my wife does online. I can't even use her name online because her job is security sensitive. I'm making it sound like she's a spy and she's not, but those in power at her work suggest that nothing shows up online to identify her. So, that being said, I do a lot of the daddying because of her hours. For instance, between starting next week, I'm a single dad for 3 months while she's off at work. That is not a regular thing. It's just a very specific project she's working on. But anyways, so like for me, doing anything long term before my 7-year-old is old enough to take care of herself will be a very it would be tough. Like I'm stuck doing weekend trips for the next while. And you know, it's funny because this year I didn't even get any weekend trips in. The only weekend trip I got wasn't even like a camping trip. I went to Alberta to play a Celtic festival. But it's just, man, this year's been a disaster. In my New Year's, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable on this chair, but I'm just... it's just, you know, like in my New Year's greeting, I had all this optimism. I was going to get out. I was going to do things. I have something to review. I've had it for a few months, but I need to get into the forest overnight to do it, you know? And it's just like, this year's been a disaster. So it's like I'm, by default, because the missus is away for 3 months, she'll be home on weekends, okay? But when she's home, I don't want to just like, hey, welcome home, honey. I'm going camping. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, by default, I'm now on to saying 2018 is going to be my year, you know? Let me get back to the let me get back to reading up on your comments as soon as I can find the damned live dashboard. Here, let's take it out of the window. Okay, where are we? Your wife's a Canadian spy. That's not funny, man. So yeah, Sheraton. I'm buggering that, right? You want to tell me how to pronounce that so that I'd like to get it right. Tyler thinks maybe that Kef art was a flat grind. I don't know. Oh, boiler room. He did use a Scandi grind? Okay. I see Michael Vega's trying to get me in trouble. Um, Michael Vega just brought up something interesting. It's funny how, like, because everyone's got the same thing as me. It's funny how, generally speaking, yeah, Michael, we know. It's funny how we tend to see a knife as being, whatever it is, an eighth of an inch, or 3 or 4 mil. I don't know what it is in imperial, but like, like the that thick, right? We because our knife we got to be able to baton, we got to this, we got to that, and it's funny how if you look at, like, if you have access to one of these antique sort of Bushman, well, like mountain man knives, they're a lot thinner than that, man. They were using much, much thinner stuff that we would think of as flimsy, and yet this stuff wasn't breaking. Well, sometimes it did, but I mean, it's like we have this idea that everything has to be so over-engineered and everything, but there were guys who were living in the bush for months, getting beaver pelts and stuff, with much, much more rudimentary tools than we have today. It makes me feel silly when I'm like rattling off all these 4-inch knives that I'm dying to try out, and I'm thinking, man, throw me in the bush for 3 months straight. You learn something, right? When I was in the Royal Canadian Air Cadets, how many of you guys are Canadian? Because if you're Canadian or British, someone says Air Cadets, you know exactly what it is. But Americans, it's not. You don't have quite the same thing. It's the youth wing of the Air Force, okay, but from the age of 12 to 18. So part of basic training, I did a survival weekend, and at the survival weekend, they threw me onto an island with nothing but blueberries. With, I think I don't remember what I had, like a paper clip and a match or something, like, just but I mean, I was a sort of a self-centered 17-year-old kid. I didn't listen. I didn't think survivalism was cool, blah blah blah, so I ate blueberries for a whole weekend. Don't do that. But anyways, at the end of the weekend, I was alive, thinking, I haven't gone down the blueberry hill again since, but like, I don't really remember what the tools were, but it was like I didn't even have a knife or anything. But like, it's funny how everyone from Les Stroud to even Bear Grylls, they say that the most important tool you've got is your brain and your willingness to survive. Your willingness to not give up. And I don't have a lot of memories from that weekend because I was kind of, my stream health is bad. Are you guys still seeing me? Hold on. Okay, wait. I gotta catch up on you guys. Yes, Michael, I have read that Campfire's knife was kitchen knife thin, and that's sort of what I was saying when I got onto this tangent about my survival weekend. How a lot of what I think that a lot of the philosophies that we bring to bush tools come from the fact that many of us, even if we don't really want to admit it, are gearheads. My low battery. Let me get an iPhone plug. I'll be right back. So exciting. Batteries dying, beer being drunk. Really? going on here? There we go. And I will turn that computer on so that it will power up the phone. Is it working? Trust this computer, don't trust this computer. Okay. No, I'm not unlocking my phone. Where was I before I got... okay. Basically kitchen knife thin, yes, I agree. Am I a pilot? No. I'm a sailor. I think I know why you asked. No, I joined the Air Cadets because I had a friend in the Air Cadets. I actually wanted to be in the Sea Cadets because I have a thing for boats. But I had a friend who was in an Air Cadet squadron, so he just invited me along, and so I went. Before I went, the entire reason I wanted to join a cadet unit of some sort was that I was one of these kids who was so painfully shy that if I was sitting in the corner of a party, if I was invited to a party, someone could come up to me and ask me a direct question and I would not be able to answer them. So I figured that joining a cadet unit would kick that out of me, and it very much did. So it was a success. And I enjoyed the sort of the... I had hippie parents, so I was one of these kids who was allowed not to be good at math, and I never did soccer and blah blah blah. So man, I was shell shocked from the structured life. You know, every Wednesday night was a wholly different experience from the rest of my life, and then, you know, basic training and junior leadership school, man. Whew. And I'm glad I did it, and I wanted to go on after high school. I tried to join the Navy, but my health was not good enough. That's all I'm going to say about that. Back to Sandy's knives. I bought a wisp. Oh, Paul got a wisp? Yeah, I was thinking of getting one of those. I was definitely thinking about getting one of those. I haven't done it yet, but I don't know. Sharotin. My name is pretty easy when you get the hang of it. Sharatin. Okay, good. 5x5. Okay, so it's funny because my computer sort of said that I was losing the signal, but okay. Michael Vega. In first grade, I was practically a don that had total reign over the playground, and boys in my grade as well as those above. So I had girls by. There was Michael. You sound like you were a terror. I don't know. Do I have a favorite bushcraft knife? Yes, but I'm a big fan of the woodlore shape. Okay. Michael, a wisp is it's a really small knife made by Sandy Jack. It's a tiny jacklore. They're very cool. Everything he makes is cool. I mean, he's got a real eye for shape and design. But Sheraton, yeah. I like the woodlore shape. I have a major yen for a jacklore of that shape in a big way, but I don't have enough experience with different knife shapes to say that if I spent, say, 3 months with a Canadian belt knife or a Nessmuk or a pick something, you know, like something by Hele, like say the Tamagami, if that wouldn't like unseat the woodlore style completely. My main bush knife right now is a woodlore clone made in Australia by Jeb Campbell. Mine, I think, is still the only Campbell bushcraft knife in Canada. And in fact, I don't know if he's still making knives. You know, when I got mine, what is it, 2-3 years ago now? I was on his ass about getting a YouTube channel going or at least a website. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm going to do it. And then it just never happened, you know? So I don't know. Like, the only way I discovered him was through a knife forum. But I don't remember which one. Groman makes the best knives for Canadians. What I like, Simon, what I like about that Groman number one is sort of the old school Canadian look of it. Like, I see it and I think of, have you ever been into, okay, for the rest of you, this is going to be really local, so just give me 1 second. But Simon, have you ever been into the fur trade museum on the Lachine Canal, actually in Lachine? Doesn't really smell like this now so much, but when I was a kid and I went, it was really primitive. Okay, it's like they had left a fur trappers, like a trading post, undisturbed. So all the touristy shit that they've done, oh, I swore again, all the touristy stuff that they've done wasn't done yet. And you walked in and you smelled like tanned leather and like furs that had been, you know, treated like, you know, they were furs, and like there's that real kind of like the this what I associate the smell of the voyageur, you know. And to me, that Groman Canadian belt knife is that smell in the form of a knife. It's old school, like coureur des bois kind of feeling, you know, in a God, in a knife. Sorry, I'm suddenly not thinking all in English, guys. Sounds to me like Michael Vega was an actual alpha male. It's funny when we're kids, we're so fearless, eh? And then suddenly, or at least it feels like suddenly we're adults and we don't jump off the swings anymore. Simone, did that fur vault have the kind of smell that I'm totally failing to accurately describe? Oh, Paul's got the cold steel one. Oh. Hold on, boys. You just reminded me about something, but I'm not sure where it is. God darn, burn it. I think I have the cold steel one that Simone lent me. I'm in the middle of reorganizing my desk to help make this entire living room more basement more livable for homework and stuff. But I've somewhere here, I've got a small Canadian belt knife that Simone lent me, and I think it's the cold steel. Yeah, I think Fort Langley would have had that smell as well. Sheraton's going to bring a chainsaw and several lighters next camp. Paul, oh, $20, eh? Yeah, I think Simon said that it was pretty reasonable as well. Just let me type up a URL here, because there is one that kind of gives me a bit of a Jones. What's it called? Found it. Yeah, Simon, you got a number 4. Yeah, I remember I've played around with that at your house. You guys should see Simon's basement. It's like the workshop I wish I had. All right, let's see if this is going to work. Can you guys see this URL that I just This is a belt knife I would like to try. It's funny because this is not a sheath design I like, but it's accurate to the Groman #1, that's for sure. Because this is sort of in the price range of the Groman one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Simone's a spy. Everyone's a spy. Everyone's retracting all their messages because they're all spies. I just don't know how to live with so many spies. So is that URL working, guys? Because like it's popping up fine here, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean anything. YouTube is like if you could put heartburn on the internet, it would be YouTube sometimes. It's so frustrating. Paul, yeah, I get that as well. I'm not sure. Like, here's the thing. All these knives I'm mentioning jonesing for, it's because I want to try them. But at $125 plus shipping, if I hate it, that's an expensive mistake, right? I think that's why like so many of the knives I really jones for are really similar to the Woodlore style. That is like my home base, or it's where I live. But like that's why I was excited to borrow the Cold Steel one from Simon, even though it's a smaller size than the straight #1 or that base Camp X one is. But people seem to love it or hate it. Like some people are like, I got issued this, and we all hated them, and other people are like, I was shocked at how ergonomic the design is, and I want to see where I fall in that, especially because like the handle shape is so weird looking to me. There's got to be a reason for it, Primitive Technology channel. That's on YouTube, Sheraton? Michael, yeah, you are a spy. We're on to you, mister. We're on to you, eh, there, mister? Oh, yeah, hey, Gord, and, Chet over there, we don't, you're going down, eh? You're going down. I should do my full-on, Joe Robinette impression. Yeah, Simone was saying that people either love or hate Cold Steel as well. Yeah, Cold Steel is definitely not a high-end knife maker by any stretch, but they've got a lot of Paul just brought up something interesting, because it's funny how you can't put, like, he was just saying how it's too bad we can't share pictures in the chat pane here, and like, well, yeah, and you can't share pictures below a YouTube video, and you can't do links and all this stuff, and it's like when you're typing messages on youtube.com, it's like you've gone back 10 years in internet history or more for all the stuff that you can't do. Like, remember you used to be able to put a plus mark and somebody's name, and it would tag them so they would know you were writing about them? I can't make it work anymore. You used to be able to put like a video response as a link. It would pop up right under somebody's video. Can't do it anymore. Can't share pictures. It's like, guys, they've got to become a next generation communications tool. Like, today YouTube released a redesign of the site and a redesign of the app, But I don't care about a new look and feel. I care about the fact that Paul can't show me pictures of all his sweet knives, and I can't show you guys pictures of anything, even though I'm the guy running the, the live stream. Primitive Technology Channel. Sherrod, and I think I've looked at that. Simo, yeah, you can still do a Google Hangout for multiple people to show up. Like, I've been thinking about maybe starting to do panel discussions, I think you can only have like 6 people on. And I sort of brought that up in my last live stream, but it seemed that not a lot of people would be open to being part of the panel discussion. So I feel I would be afraid of just sort of being and having the same thing as we've got here, me sort of all alone talking to an iPhone and notes scrolling up the screen. Let me see if Sherrod, and I'm gonna just see if primitive Technology Channel. Yeah. Yes. He did like flip-flops or something at one point, right? Sandals, yeah. Reusable charcoal mound. I haven't seen one of these videos in a while. I'm trying to remember which was the one I saw last time. Freshwater prone trip. I think I saw the cord drill. Oh, the stone axe. Yeah, I saw it like last year or something. Okay, so some of you guys would be open for that. Okay, it's weird because like the last time I brought it up, it's like not a lot of people were into it. But maybe okay. Oops. Wow. The side chat on the computer is so far behind this one. Michael, are you saying that you're 19 at minus 22 degrees or that you're in the 19 to 22 age group? That was a stupid thing for me to say, right? No, your opinion is not invalid. How many of you guys know Hoffman Blacksmithing? All of you, right? Okay, let's make it easier. How many of you guys don't know Hoffman Blacksmithing? And just, if anyone happens to want to buy somebody a Hoffman double bait axe, I could accept that. But the reason I'm bringing Liam Hoffman up is, Paul, you don't know Liam Hoffman? You're not much of an axe guy, though, are you? The reason I'm bringing him up is for Michael Vega because, man, Liam Hoffman is 21 years old or 22, right? He is the index case of why, to me, someone who's like 20, someone who's 20 and I'm listening to on the bus, I'm like, stop talking. But the fact is, I've learned so much just by watching this guy who I would have thought of as a kid and not paid any attention to before I knew what he was capable of. And before I heard that, and when he opens his mouth and he's talking about what he does, he shows me that the idea of what someone is worth at a certain age, the idea that we tend to have is completely false. Everyone has knowledge, everyone has wisdom, and we have to lose this idea. We look at each other as ages all the time, and there's so much more to us than that, so no, your opinions are fine. I'm not going to sit here and judge you. Where age comes into play for me in a big way is a 20-year-old cutie I should not even be looking at. Do you know what I'm saying? A hot little 18-year-old, I'm like, oh, can't look. But aside from that, it's just a number. Everyone lives a different life. We're all living our own little hell. uh, yeah, Sharadin, there is definitely a delay. Yep. Um, yeah, dangerous times, exactly. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so Paul doesn't know Liam Hoffman. I'm going to at some point rejig my YouTube, like my homepage, my about, and I've got some links down the side to channels that I kind of showcase. I'm definitely going to put Liam's up there, um, but in the meantime, Hoffman blacksmithing. Just look it up, and his work is exquisite, and he knows it, but his work is good, man. It's fabulous. Where am I? Do Liam Hoffman in my 40s? Yeah, there's a delay on YouTube. Not really. Oh, yeah, you've got a Wetterlings, Paul. I forgot about that. Oh, Michael saw Warncliffe on Instagram the other day. It's a weird shape. I'm not sure if I like that shape, but I'm not ready to say that I don't. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I don't like, what's it called? Clipped fronts. Like, I don't like, the ones that have that sort of, hold on. New channel logo. Okay, you've seen enough of that. Actually, it's on my, like, I think the Marine Corps fighting knife or whatever it's called is this shape, you know? I don't really like that so much. They've usually got like the channel, and then it's, I'm not a big fan of the Tanto. You know, the Warncliffe, I haven't decided yet because it's got this real oddball kind of appeal to it. And I kind of like oddball stuff. It's probably why I love the Lee Enfield so much. Ah, nothing quite as sad as the end of a beer. Tyler, it's JESSE. Thanks for checking. Nice. Yeah, Paul. We're kind of like that. Celebrity crushes are not so bad. So the fact that I have a thing for Mila Kunis is okay. If I had a thing for the lady next door, that would be a problem. I think you understand. But yeah. A 2-minute 9-second delay, Sharotin? Jeez, okay. Clip point, that's what I was looking for. I knew it was a clip something. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of clip points. Michael, which Instagrammer did you see that at? Maybe I'll go and check it out. Oh, your dad's got 2 of the fighting knives, eh? Somewhere I've got the bayonet off a Ross rifle. Unfortunately, it's been ground so much that it's just like, pfft. But it's funny how the bayonet off the Lee Enfield and the Ross, like the World War One, it was like a saber practically, man. They were this long. And the sort of more the belt knife that oh, it was a Liam Hoffman. Okay, oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the way he ground and finished those had a major role to play on that. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because yeah, I follow Liam's Instagram. Well, I just don't know how to answer that. Boom. Blocked. And disappeared. Funny how that happens, isn't it? I was watching a live stream with Scrambled O, and man, there was someone who was just wrecking his live stream with stuff like that. And that person, like, whenever he blocked him, would just use a different name and come on again. Yeah, Simo, I don't get the Ross rifle, man. It was a terrible design. Well, interestingly, Canadian snipers kept using them because they were inherently more accurate than the Lee Enfield. But the biggest problem with that, there were two problems, right? One was their tolerances were much tighter than the Lee Enfield, so they jammed up a hell of a lot in the mud of the trenches. And the other thing was there was nothing really wrong with the straight pull bolt, except in the earlier version, it was possible to put the bolt back together wrong if you weren't paying a lot of attention. And that's where you got cases of, a guy firing it and throwing the bolt back into his eye and losing his eye. So, I mean, I don't think that there was much hope for the Ross surviving the kind of the PR nightmare that throwing a bolt into someone's eye was. But it is interesting that as Canadian troops left their Rosses in the mud and picked up dead British people's Lee Enfields, that snipers kept the Rosses because they were just so much more ideal at shooting at distance. Tyler, Bushcraft clothing. I will tell you exactly what I would love to have. I want another, like, a wool lumberjack kind of thing, or just something. I want wool. Underneath that, I want merino wool. In hot weather, I want bamboo, because here's the thing. Cotton, there are a lot of things about cotton, right? One is it's a filthy industry. In fact, it's the dirtiest crop, non-food crop grown. Organic cotton is great and everything, but the thing about bamboo is it's more temperature regulating than cotton is. So if you're wearing a bamboo t-shirt, you'll be a degree or two cooler than you would be in cotton on a hot summer day. And I don't know about your part of the world, but around here it gets hot and muggy. Okay, it's just, it's awful. A Mackinac Cruiser, really? I keep looking at Filson and all the usual, but it's just like the money aspect. Just let me take a look. Mackinac Cruiser wool jacket at the Canadian Outdoor Equipment Company. Hell yeah. $482. Hell no, but yeah, you know what I like. Aaron, we sort of have, but we're not really finished. I was just getting people's I was just getting people's suggestions as to what to get. I'm just bringing Aaron up to speed, guys. What I've decided to do is make Camille a knife for her 7th birthday. So I want a kid-sized one. Oh, good to know, Paul. Yeah, because I would like some Fjellraven pants. I would actually love to have a whole Fjellraven wardrobe for like summer camping and stuff. But I don't really know what I want for straight up winter camping. Like I know in November it it can go down to -20, but it won't always, you know. But I love wool, but I don't want wool directly against my skin. I want like merino against my skin or bamboo. I'm just gonna bring Aaron up to speed on the knife talk. Um, so yeah, so I was getting people's suggestions. What I want to do is get a knife blank, and I've been collecting. I was gonna say bamboo because I was just telling you guys about bamboo shirts, birch bark, and I want to do a stacked birch handle. So I've been sort of trying to collect. None of us could remember. There's a company that makes a kid's knife that's got a rounded tip, and I kind of thought that would be a good one to get, but none of us can remember who makes it. Hold on. Simon, are you kidding me? Fjallraven has a store in Montreal. Where? Tyler, yeah, learning the patterns and sewing your own it's an excellent skill to have. When I was much younger, my sister and I had a very small clothing line, so we're talking like the 90s, like really small runs, like 50 pieces of something tops, you know. I was mostly the designer and cutter, and she was mostly the sewer, but I learned so much. One thing I definitely learned is that I need to be better at sewing before I can, you know, really do it. But it was interesting. Hold on, I gotta get back to Tyler uses straight oilcloth for winter camping. Well, does that get sweaty? I guess you're gonna have like long johns under anyway, right? Manny Rosenberg wants to know my top 5 music albums. For some reason, because he's trolling, but I will answer at least 2 of them. Stan Rogers, Fogarty's Cove, The Cure, the greatest hits from 20 years ago, because I find that's when they sort of stopped being great. Paul's leaving. Okay, thanks, buddy. I'm gonna do this again soon, and maybe we'll do an actual panel discussion. Aaron, yeah, damn straight. I'm gonna video everything about making that knife. That ridiculously long series I did on the axe restoration showed me that from now on, I will video most of my projects, I think, because people like seeing it happen. And I regret not videoing when I rehandled the kitchen knife. It's funny. You think that no one's going to be interested, and then everyone's interested. And you think, oh, I wish I'd videoed the last 3 things I did, you know? But yeah. Okay, maybe Manny's not trolling. However, just in case. Where was I? Just trying to sort of keep up. I see Wrangler Star is doing another cheap versus expensive tool comparison. I'll watch that a little later. Yeah, Aaron, I was just saying, it's, I had plans to do exactly that this year, but because of stuff, this year's just been a disaster. But yeah, I want to do that. I definitely want to. Michael, you're making sense, dude. But yeah, I want to, especially because I find that Um, I've been teaching my squirt how to, light fires and stuff, and it's sort of made this stuff a little more fun for me. Like I'm recapturing sort of the fun I had when I first started this. The last couple of years have been pretty hard in a lot of areas of my life, so I'm having a hard time finding enjoyment where I used to find it. But it's like dropping her into the middle of something is like a fun factor that she's like a wild card. So I'm sort of remembering my fun, I guess. you know. Just 1 second. Fokies. I just accidentally made a troll a moderator. It's okay, I fixed it. I fixed it and blocked. That was embarrassing. Daniel Mravich. Just looking back here, just making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh yeah, but Aaron, I wanted to ask, like, do you know about that little kid's knife with the rounded tip? Do you know which one that is? Because man, it's weird. I looked at it a lot. It's funny. Like you guys who've been watching me for a long time will know that for her 5th birthday, or was it Christmas? No, 6th birthday? No. Maybe it was her 6th birthday. Yeah. For her 6th birthday, I gave Camille a fire kit, right? I made yeah, I know. Thanks, Michael. I know. I gave Camille a fire kit with a ferro rod that I had made, and like a flint and steel kit that I had bought her, like a kid's sized a flint and steel kit. Simone, that's dangerous. Really? Whew. I'm gonna have to go there. But like I bought the kit that I based it on when she was 3, and I spent a couple of years like, oh, I can't wait to give this to her. So to me, she's just turned 6, so planning a knife for when she turns 7 isn't really too far ahead. You know what I'm saying? Especially because I also want to learn, like as Simone and I were saying a couple of weeks ago, there's a tandy in town here, so I'm gonna go buy some leather and I'm gonna make a sheath for it as well, but it takes me forever to get started on something that I've never done before, so oh, y'all, Raven, why are you gonna do this to me? But anyway, so that's like that's my plan. Maybe the rounded tip isn't as important as I think it is. I mean, it's like that Hella doesn't have a rounded tip. All right, Michael. See you next time. Yeah, if I decide to have a panel discussion, I'll find another night that I have free, and I'll, I guess, put the Google Hangouts address up or some stuff. I don't know, but yeah, we'll make it work somehow. Because now I'm interested. Now that I know some of you guys are interested, I'm interested. Just taking a look here. Whoops. Whew, I thought I closed the live dashboard there. I was like, no. I like the fact that there are a couple of guys here tonight that I haven't actually spoken to before. I like that. Simone told me there's a Fjallraven store in Montreal right near where I'm working right now. I have to go, right? I have to go and check it out one of these days. Next week I gotta go. Yeah, we've lost a couple of guys because it's getting late. That's okay. See them both next time. Paul's gone. Michael's gone. Oh, this chair is not comfy. So, to keep that knife discussion fresh, you guys know what my main bushcraft knife is. Yeah, thanks, Simo. What's the Daniel? Good to know. Good to know. I'm gonna be having a lot of these live streams, I think, over the next few months. I enjoy doing it, and it means I can sort of. What I like about them is that I can have an actual discussion with you guys. I feel that sometimes I put a video up and some of them really work and people start to talk to each other and stuff in the comments section, which I love. And sometimes they just kind of go boom and they sink to the bottom, you know. And I have a hard time figuring out which is which. But anytime that something I do can turn into a discussion, you know, among people, that's a good day for me, you know. Yeah, Simone, that's not a bad idea either. What was I going to ask you? Yeah, so what do you guys use as your main, do you guys have a main knife that you take into the bush? Or that you always have in your EDC or something? I've mentioned that for me, I'm all about the wood lore, but I would like to also be all about the Falkneven F1, and I would love to be about the Hella Tamagami. I would love to be about a full-size Nesmuk because I love my little bitty one. What am I missing? I'd love to be about the Canadian belt knife. I would love to at least try out a Kephart. But I'm not the type to carry 8 knives into the bush. Do you know what I'm saying? In fact, I don't even really like carrying 2, but I always have a Mora in my bag, sort of as a backup knife. Sorry, I just noticed there's a bunch of paint on this on this lampshade here. You know, I like to I've always got my Australian Woodlore clone, and there's always a Mora, a companion, a heavy duty companion or whatever it's called, the heftier one in my bag as a backup, you know. Tyler, I think we've talked about this before. My mini Nesmuk is a Jeff White. I really love the finish on those. Simone, yeah, that Groman number 4. For those of you who don't know, that oh, hold on. My wife has just told me to go and unlock the front door. I'll be right back. Just took a little moment there. The number 4 is slightly different to the number 1. It's more of a, I don't know, Simone, what would you say about it? It's got more, it's almost like it's more of a Skinner design because there's a place for you to put your thumb. Hold on a sec here. There we go. So yeah, it's got this, instead of the sort of the humpback shape of the number 1, it's got the beginning of that, and then it's got a big cutout for you to put your thumb on. So I think it's more of a Skinner. Simone will know more about it than I do because it's his knife. Simone also always carries a Swiss Army knife. I don't. I carry a an old Leatherman um, fuse. I think it's a fuse um, as my as my EDC. It's got a whole bunch of tools that I. It's amazing how often I use those pliers. In fact, you know. Um, but aside from that, I don't know. What do you guys carry? Actually, Tyler, I'm trying to remember if I know exactly which Jeff White that bush knife is. I was just at his website today, actually, looking at knives, because I was trying to remember. It's a name I forget all the time. I know it's like something White. And yeah, I'm with you. Rustic stuff grabs my eye a lot. It used to grab my wallet. If I end up with, more work, then it may grab my wallet again. And Jeff White is sort of like the official knife maker for James Townsend and Sons. So they sell a lot of stuff. But they sell mostly his more like his kitchen knife designs, you know. But yeah, I just love that rustic kind of, beat it up kind of aesthetic, you know. Austin's Corners here. Hey, how's it going, man? We were just talking knives. In fact, I had just asked the guys what their main, like what the knife they grab every time they go into the forest is. So what's yours? Joe! What's your main knife when you hit the forest, Joe? Daniel carries a box cutter. And a buck knife for hunting. Yeah, I hunt with my stepfather-in-law or whatever. He's old school. He brings a buck knife into the forest for hunting as well. And I don't tend to carry a buck knife, but I like seeing his. Like his is old. His belonged to his dad. You know, that's where I think the buck knife magic is, when it's actually an heirloom. You know, I don't love the new sort of, I don't know how to say this, but like I feel that a buck knife looks better with age. Like I find a lot of axes look better with age and with use too. You know, I love seeing stuff that's been used and loved instead of just sort of left in a box somewhere, you know. Yeah, so Tyler, I'm gonna check out his site again, because I have a vague idea of the knife. You said it's 5.5 inches, eh? I think I know, but I'm not entirely sure. You have a Falkneven F1 for $40? If it's with a Zytel sheath, I'll kill you, because I was just telling the guys that I have a major yen for one of those. Where the hell did you get one for $40, dude? LT Wright, nice. Nice. A little niche. I like it. LT Wright was that Battle Horse Knives or something that broke into two companies? Is that where LT Wright came from? And did I have the original company's name right? Was it Battle Horse? Something like that? An F1, man. Shoot, $40. I've been sort of like pining over these things for months. Where'd you... Here we go. So Joe, I'm waiting to hear what your main bush knife is. Waiting to hear. You know what I wish the live chat did? I wish it notified me of exactly when somebody dropped out of the conversation, so that I could know if like someone says, okay, I gotta go, guys. I could make sure that I'm saying, okay, see you later, before they're actually gone, you know? Simone, yeah, I like that. Man, the shape of those Gromans is really, really enchanting to me. I can't wait to try out that one you lent me. Well, Austin, you have my envy, because I've wanted one of those for a long time, and I never get deals like that. It's crazy. I mean, one of my recent videos, I sort of mentioned the fact that I've been really lucky about receiving gifts lately, which is why I made an axe for someone else. Uh, oh, Tyler, okay. See you later, man. It was nice chatting with you. Ooh, getting late where I'm from, too. Tell you what, we'll do another 20 minutes and then I gotta go. Right, Blind Horse turned into Battle Horse and LT, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, see you later, Tyler. Yeah, funny thing, I'm doing the 9 to 5 thing right now. It's not a full. It's not like off into the future. It's a quick 1 month contract, but it's, you know, because I'm suddenly working at an office at, specific hours. I have to remember not to go to bed at like 2 every night anymore. But anyway, just taking a look here, just make sure I'm not getting late on the chat. Anyway, okay. So it looks like we've still got like 6 or 7 people on. Okay. To anyone who's brand new, I just asked the guys what their main knife is that they grab when they hit the forest, because we've had sort of an ongoing knife discussion where I mentioned like my main knife and like the 4 or 5 that I'm really jonesing for trying out, Joe. When you say you're a small Wetterlings hatchet, I think you've got the same one as me, right? The tiny guy. Yeah. And a Victorinox, yeah, Swiss champ. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice little kit for carrying around. Actually, it's amazing how much I like that silly tiny little Wetterlings. That was my first serious axe, by the way. That was like my first big ticket axe purchase. Was that tiny little Wetterlings. I used to use it for carving spoons. Such a nice little size. Such a nice little, like, it's not that Camille won't be using that axe. I think for when you're teaching kids, you need something long enough that if they miss, they don't ding their kneecap off. But yeah. Was it Kephart or was it Nesmik who had like the fixed blade, the little pocket knife, and the double bit axe as like his combination for the bush? I kind of think that's going to be Kephart, isn't it? Like the Kephart trio. Did I get that right? Austin, this summer has not been great for me. I've been trying to build a fence in the backyard, and it's just like more problems than it's worth, and it's in the way of everything else I want to get done because I've got to get it finished before I can do anything else, because there are 2 dogs that live next door. We don't have a gate, and it's just like my summer has not been perfect. My fall is also already wasted just due to scheduling and family stuff. So I'm essentially turning to 2018 to be my year. I have great hopes. Great hopes. Simone, no, it's not done yet because we're building it out of a cedar, and the cedar is intensely expensive. We bought all the parts for the 2 gates. I've got the posts up, but it's just the main part of the fence is going to be a weekend. It's going to be fast. It's just the gates, because I've got to measure this and that and all this crap. You'll just have to swing on by. It's funny, when I was pouring my concrete footers in Montreal, your concrete footers for your fence, for your balcony, anything, has to go 4 feet deep to get past the frost line, because otherwise, if you don't go that deep, as the ground expands and contracts with the frost, it just sort of over time expels the concrete. So one day I'm like, I've got 7 of these things to pour. So I've got my sonotubes in and I'm mixing concrete. And phone rings and it's Simone. He says, "Hey man, what you doing?" I said, "I'm pouring concrete." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, take a look." And he took a look at the dog's breakfast I was making of it and said, "Stop. I'll be there in an hour." He came and helped me pour them all. Anyway, so now I got to get the rest of the stuff built. Because I don't build a lot of big ticket stuff, there's always something that I didn't think of and I have to go and buy, like joist brackets or something, you know. Anyways, I got to get it because I have other projects to do, but I can't do them until this project is out of the way. Just in the name of fairness and, you know, I got to do it, right? Joe, okay, see you later, man. It's nice to speak to you. I'll see you next time. Oh. I don't know, man. I don't know. So we never did we never did figure out which kid's knife has that rounded tip. I'm just doing another last minute, another sort of last ditch attempt to figure it out. A little Amazon.ca action. Kid's pocket knife. It's Opinel. Opinel has a kid's knife with a rounded. I don't think I want to do that though. Yeah, that's the one with the rounded tip. Wow, that only took all night to remember. I don't know if the Opinel is the way to go though. You know, at least the Hele and the Mora have like a little hand guard on them, you know. Because if I'm teaching the squirt how to use a knife and her hand slips and she cuts herself, that'll go over like a lead balloon. Very interesting. Just taking a look at... Somebody made a Kep art that I really like the look of. Oh, ML Knives. How many of you guys know ML Knives? Yeah, there's a Kep art here with a stag handle that looks fabulous. And right below it, there's one with a tiger maple that looks even better. Oh, I'm going to share this with you guys, because if you guys are being bad influences on me, I'm going to return the favor. But seriously, some of you guys are being bad influences. Austin, they start with a potato peeler. Then I think they go to the Mora kid's knife. If what I've seen online is accurate. These MLs look really cool. It's funny how like I've grown to really appreciate this really rough aesthetic, because you know, for the longest time I wanted a knife that was shiny, you know, like a shiny Jacklore. And I still do, but I also really like these really sort of primitive looking. Man, all these MLs look so damn beautiful. And this is a knife style that suits a non-polished blade, you know. I wonder how much these cost. Daniel, I don't think I've seen that video. I've seen almost everything that Rango Star's done, but I'm gonna go back and look at that. I'm gonna see. Are we talking like a couple of years ago, or are we talking like 5 years ago? ML Knives makes a mini Kephart for 129 bucks. I'm not spending that on a 7-year-old's knife. Oh, you know who also makes a kid's sized is Condor. They've got a really small, like a kid's size version of their of whatever's their Woodlore clone, whatever it's called. But here I'm not getting a, you know, that's not a kit, that's a full tang. Then I'm not doing my stacked birch bark handle, you know. Man, these MLs are really cool. That stag handled one, whew, that gives me the fizz. So does the tiger maple one right under it. But I kind of feel that for historical accuracy, I would have to get something with a plain wood handle, you know. So nice. Oh, here's one with micarta. See, micarta to me, that doesn't suit the Kephart design. It's like it wouldn't suit a Nessmuk either, you know. Just in the last couple of months, Daniel. Okay, I'm gonna go back and look then, because there was a while there where I was sort of falling back on my YouTube, and so I'll take a look at what he got. I mean, the worst that... Oh, excuse me. I'm getting tired here, folks. I'm going to close some of these windows because I opened up a lot of windows because of you guys. Man, some of this stuff is fabulous. Part of me wants to get like a real old school, like an 18th century style stamped metal frying pan for, you know, for when I'm in the bush. Like Townsend sells one, but I mean, as I said, with the shipping across the border being 45 bucks, there's no way. But if I can find something like that north of the border, man, that would be so cool. Ugh. I think I'm done, guys. I gotta go to work tomorrow, so let's call it a night and say sorry about. Here's the thing: I was going to put up a notice about tonight's live stream like yesterday morning, and I forgot, so I threw it up as soon as I got home tonight from work, just in the hopes that you guys would see it was gonna happen, you know. I meant to give a lot more notice than this, so sorry about that. Awesome's Corner says don't do it. You mean don't buy a frying pan? Or don't go to bed? Self-Reliance Outfitters does? I'm gonna go to another expensive website right now. Damn it. Self-Reliance Outfitters. Frying pan. Got a lot of cool stuff in this. Austin, man, I wish I could go. Yeah, that sounds cool. when you get back, I'll want to know all about it. Let me see. Oh yeah, Simo, I see what you're talking about. It's not the same style as I'm thinking of, but this actually would be more more that's it. Practical. Blah. Don't go to work? Yeah, are you kidding me? I need the monies, man. Alright, guys. I'm going to sleep. Austin, as when you get back from that trip, I would love to hear about it. The rest of you, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll definitely plan a Google Hangout probably sometime in early September. And so, thanks again. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.